Okay, so I haven't made a video in a long time, but I'm making one now, and it's about the TRISHA PAYTAS thing, which I'm pretty sure you guys would have heard of, but maybe not, and I don't know what's happening with my hair, but should I just pull this out straight up? Yeah, fuck that. But before I go into the video, I just want to say a few things about Corona. Please don't panic buy anything, first of all, because all that does is make it harder for other people to get the essentials that they need. You really shouldn't be buying any more than like a week's supply of whatever you're getting. Also, don't go to the ER in hopes for like a test for Corona. If you're going to get a test, you should be having like severe symptoms. If you have suspicion that you might have Corona, maybe just self-isolate for a few days and then see if you get better. And some things to do while you're at home doing absolutely nothing. Arnold Schwarzenegger posted like a workout routine thing on his Instagram back when he was like a bodybuilder or whatever he was. I'm not quite sure. I'm sorry. And also water your plants. Don't forget to water your plants. They need water. Please keep them alive. But for those of you who don't know what happened, Anthony Padilla made a really good video about DID and basically what it is and how people deal with it and all that. If you want to go see it, it was on the trending page, so you probably already have, but I don't know. I am not diagnosed, I am not a professional, and I have no, I guess, relation to DID, but I do believe, and I can say this with confidence, that I have a lot more knowledge on it than Trisha does. Trisha Paytas made a, I guess, response video to it, and she called out specifically one of the girls that was in the video doing the interview with Anthony Padilla, and she essentially just called her crazy. Trisha Paytas also said in the video that she had self-diagnosed herself, and she talked about her own alters and her own, I guess, experiences with DID. Dissociated, who is the person who went on Anthony Padilla's interview thing, they've also made a video about it, basically responding to Trisha's. They basically said that self-diagnosing isn't invalid. It just, you shouldn't self-diagnose unless you can't get professionally diagnosed. And if you are going to self-diagnose, please do your research on it and make sure that you know as much about it as possible to be able to not do what Trisha did, I guess. But essentially, Trisha's video just had a bunch of misinformation. She talked about multiple personality disorder, which is the old term for DID, before they did more research on it and discovered that it wasn't just personalities. I feel like, was it Nin who made the video? I'm not quite sure. But I think Nin was trying her best to be as polite as possible to Trisha, which I don't think she deserves. I'm guessing like she just thought this was like a one-off thing, because why would she be keeping up with Trisha's scandals? But for those of you who know, Trisha did not deserve the respect that Nin gave her in that video. She was so polite, she was so nice, and Trisha just isn't. She doesn't deserve that. Okay, does that sound mean? Like, I feel like what I'm trying to say is that, like, personally, I just feel like Trisha is such a shitty person and Nin is just like not, and she did everything in her power to be as polite and nice as possible when Trisha just would have never, and she didn't after this video came out. But like, why hasn't she been fully cancelled yet? She's been cancelled time and time again, and even if you don't like agree with cancel culture, this like Trisha should have been cancelled and she should stay cancelled. Like, I get why cancel culture is a whole like thing. Like, a lot of people get cancelled for like small things that it did like years ago that they've apologized for, or like small things that they shouldn't really get cancelled for. From what I've seen, and I'm pretty sure if you don't believe that Trisha should have been kicked off of the internet by now, you either don't know what's happened or you're brainwashed. Or maybe you just don't care enough, and that's like perfectly fine. Anthony like reacted, it wasn't like a full-on like response video, but like he reacted to it. He was watching Trisha's video. I think it was on his friend's story, it might have been his story. And then of course Trisha had to make it a whole thing and put this on her story.
Anthony Padilla, I saw that you called me trash on your Instagram story because you say I'm claiming to have a mental disorder and that I'm mocking the people with a similar mental disorder as me. Well, fuck you, you dumb piece of shit. I am ashamed, embarrassed, and scared that you are a mental health advocate and that people are coming onto your show to share their stories, to have an open and safe discussion when you just accuse me of claiming that I have a disorder. Oh,
you know when you have so many problems with so many people in your life, will you not sit there and maybe be like, maybe I'm the problem.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not everyone else. Like, hang on, there's a common factor. Oh, it's me.
Oh, you have depression, anxiety. Are you sure about that, Anthony? Because you look fine. Are you claiming to have anxiety just to be cool, you dumb piece of shit?
You're claiming you're depressed. I don't know if you're actually depressed, but I'm going to call you a dumb piece of shit to millions of people just in case.
And I'm mocking a community that I myself have very, very much been a part of. Whether they want to accept me or not, it's what I have.
Why would they accept her after she literally called them crazy in a video?
Literally.
Why?
I know a lot of people can sympathize with shitty people and be like, okay, maybe this person is like this because this happened in their lives or because this is happening right now. But this is just Trisha. Like, this has been her for as long as she's been trying to be cancelled. She is clearly not trying or does not give a single damn about becoming a better person, and I think she should, because she is terrible. She has absolutely no sympathy or empathy for anybody else, and she is disgusting. She is disgusting. She is a gross human being, and she shouldn't have a platform, and I have no idea why she has still so many supporters and so many fans. For somebody with that much influence, you should not be making videos on such sensitive topics if you don't know anything about these topics, which she clearly doesn't. I'm gonna put this in like my own words, and I don't know how accurate it's gonna be, but this is what I'm taking from it, from the definitions and stuff like that. When a child is essentially like developing the personality, if they have experienced severe or repeated trauma, then the brain will not be able to kind of handle that, and they'll put up a wall of amnesia, and because of that wall, it kind of separates them into multiple identities or people. So it is more than just like a personality. They can have their own ages and sexes and genders and all that kind of stuff. But obviously they will have their own personalities, but it's not just like having multiple personalities as different people like in the same body. So for Trisha to come out and say stuff like people who have this are crazy, but also I have this and I know it's just like personalities, and also I'm self-diagnosed and I'm in a position to be professionally diagnosed, but I just simply won't. What I got from Trisha's video is she thinks she has DID because she has a personality that changes when she's with different people, which is a normal thing that everyone does. When you're around other people, you pick up certain things so that you can fit in more with that person or that crowd. Simply to how if you went to a professional area, such as like work or like a meeting, you're not gonna be the same as you are with like really close friends, or when you get home and can relax and like have fun and joke about certain things that you wouldn't joke about with, say, your boss. Trisha has done this time and time again, and she has damaged so many communities, I guess. The LGBTQ community. She can say she supports them all she wants, but all she does is like drag them down and paint them in a terrible light and make fun of them in a way. She mocks them, regardless of whether or not that's her motive, which to me it seems like, because she calls herself a troll and then does shit like... That's not, how can you, that's not helping them. If anything, it's painting them in a worse light. How is that being a supporter? She's also recently done like a follow-up video where she caught her alters coming on, like on camera, and she's also blaming all the times she got angry on her alters, so she's taking no responsibility for this whatsoever, and it's just such a shitty, like, why did you have to do that? Why couldn't just one time, literally this one time, this one important time, you just come out and say, I'm sorry, I fucked up and I won't do this again? Why couldn't you just do that? Even Gabby Hanna could do that. Even Gabby Hanna could come out and apologize. She came out and apologized for using the picture of the girl who was murdered in her like e-girl video. She came out and apologized for that, and it was a good apology. Why couldn't you just do a Gabby Hanna and apologize for this one thing, this one time, instead of going through with it, still pretending you have DID and claiming that everything that went wrong was due to your alters? Literally, even Dissociated said in their video, you're basically responsible for your other alters because you're sharing the same body. If one of your alters upset another one, you still have to apologize. Everything's just been laid out for her. Trisha, if you just want like a layout of how your apology is supposed to go, if you ask, I bet like 100 people would literally do it for you. You are not in any position to act as if you are the victim. Even if you do have DID, you're just not the victim. And I'm not saying she doesn't have DID, but this is just such a bad way to like do it. Like, if you're self-diagnosing, then you should do your research, and she obviously hasn't. So that just discredits her self-diagnosis further. Bullshit has also made a video saying that she's been on YouTube for 10 years and she's very public about her mental health along with like everything else in her life. So why has she, one, not mentioned that she has DID until now, and two, not have actually had one of her alters come out? Like, she says that it came out in her newest video, but like they haven't actually come out within the 10 years of her being on YouTube, like during one of her 1-hour mukbangs. Dissociated also talked about this on Twitter, and I'm just gonna read through everything because Trying to convince Ruby not to get involved is becoming next to impossible. You thought we were offended before? This is too fucking far. So much hard work is being undone. So much stigma is being spread. I'm seeing systems splitting and deciding to never tell anyone about their DID because of this. Years of work and advocacy from hundreds of systems being undone in a week. People making jokes about split again. Even we had a new alter appear. We've been dealing with flashbacks after the Dear Anthony video for days. She called us crazy. Again, this is not entertainment. This is not a subject. We can use thumbnails to show yourself cross-eyed and call it a switch. This is not something anyone can reduce to being just about them and what they want. This is hurting people. Enough. I said this like earlier, but like I didn't really expand on it well enough. That's what I'm saying. Like, she calls herself a troll, but that's not a good excuse to be a piece of shit. Like, okay, you might think you're being funny, but what you're actually doing is harming literally everyone. Do not watch TRISHA Paytas' newest video. Do not reward this behavior. Try educational content from us and others to understand what DID is in a scientifically accurate, non-stigmatizing way. DID is a serious, complex dissociative disorder caused by repeated childhood trauma and abuse. DID is not a topic for your entertainment. We are not your comedy or horror trope. I know people are telling us to ignore her or block her, but this is our job. We can see our community being hurt. We see people we love giving up. We were supposed to protect you. We promised all of you a safe space. We promised to try to make a difference. That's another thing with TRISHA. You can try and ignore her all you want, but she's still a piece of shit. She is still gross and disgusting, and the things that she does is still hurting other people. We don't need to ignore her. We need to like get her kicked off of YouTube. There is a petition to get her kicked off YouTube, but I don't know, because I'm pretty sure there's been a bunch of petitions and none of them actually like did anything, but like maybe sign it just in case. We have to stand up to this. This isn't about any one personal system, not us, not TRISHA. This is about the fallout, how hard it is to get a diagnosis on misinformation, on people disbelieving DID. This is about seeing you being hurt without remorse and us saying no more. As a system, we've decided not to enable or respond to this drama further despite being personally involved. The best way to combat this is to keep creating and sharing scientifically accurate information about DID from educational YouTubers and sites such as PODS and the ISSTD. Please share as many accurate representations of DID as you can and report TRISHA and her videos for offensive content, misleading content, and harassment. Don't watch. The community has made it clear how they feel about this mockery of DID. And they've also retweeted like a tutorial on how to report TRISHA's content without watching it. I'm not sure if it works on the laptop. Basically on mobile, you go on the YouTube app, you click on the 3 dots, click on the report button, and then this comes up. I'm just so fucking tired of TRISHA getting away with everything. She was supposed to be cancelled ages ago. She keeps on doing shitty things. She keeps on making the LGBTQ community look like a joke. Now she's making the DID community look like a joke. She makes everyone look like a joke, and she spreads stigma and false information about everything. And it's time that we just stop putting up with it, and we need to honestly like get her kicked off or get her cancelled fully and just stop supporting her. Like, I've seen a lot of comments in the people like, I used to be a fan, but this has gone too far. Like, yes, I'm proud of you. Like, you tried to empathize with her for so long. You tried to put up with her for so long. And now you're finally seeing what a piece of shit she is. And I'm proud of you for finally realizing it. I will put the links to Anthony's and Dissociated's video in the description. Please don't watch TRISHA's. I'm pretty sure a bunch of other drama channels have covered this. Just don't watch TRISHA's. Don't do that. Don't. I'm pretty sure she's monetized it. She's monetized a bunch of other videos in the past that she shouldn't have, so I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, that's about it.